Hello, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, watch, like and share my videos. Today I'll be talking about prep. What is prep? Prep, pre-exposure prophylaxis, is a way to prevent infection with human immunodeficiency virus before a person is exposed to the virus. PrEP means the pre-exposure prophylaxis. The pre is before exposure, before coming in contact. You have to prevent. So PrEP means pre-exposure prophylaxis. PrEP involves taking antiretroviral medicines every day. These medicines stop HIV from entering and multiplying in the body if exposure happens. Taking medicine before possible exposure to HIV to prevent HIV infection. That's what PrEP is all about. Taking medicines every day before possible exposure to HIV to prevent HIV infection. Who can take PrEP? PrEP is recommended for people who are at high risk of getting HIV, such as people who have an HIV positive partner. If your partner is HIV positive, then it is advised you go for PrEP. Your partner is HIV positive, you really have to take PrEP. You just really have to take PrEP to prevent yourself from getting infected with HIV. And you must be HIV negative. PrEP is taken by negative people. HIV negative people. If you're HIV negative and your partner is HIV positive, you really need PrEP to prevent yourself from getting infected with HIV. Alright? You must undergo some certain screening tests like urinalysis to rule out proteinuria. Before you take PrEP, you must rule out proteinuria in your urine before you are eligible, before you are recommended for PrEP. Alright? People who have sex without protections like condom, you have unprotected sex, often you really need to take PrEP to prevent HIV infection. People with multiple sexual partners, you have multiple sexual partners, my dear, you need PrEP to prevent yourself from HIV infection. Alright? Sex workers, people who they are professional sex workers, they need to take PrEP also to prevent HIV infection. People who inject drugs and share needles. You sharing sharp objects with your friends, you really need to take PrEP to prevent HIV infection. Alright, effectiveness of PrEP. When taken every day as prescribed, PrEP can reduce the risk of getting HIV by about 99% from sexual contact. Alright? The risk of contacting HIV is really reduced by 99% by sexual contact if you go for PrEP. Okay, so it only prevents HIV infection. PrEP cannot prevent some diseases like sexual transmitted infections. They cannot be prevented by PrEP. PrEP prevents only HIV infection. So you really need to take PrEP if you have multiple sexual partners and you're at high risk of contacting HIV. Please, you really need PrEP. We have PrEP in our hospitals, primary health cares. We offer PrEP to eligible people who are at high risk of contacting HIV infection. Alright, when taking PrEP, you really need regular HIV testing, and medical checkups are needed while using PrEP. You understand? You really need to go for checkups. You cannot just relent from going for checkups, from going to hospitals because you are on PrEP. When taking PrEP, you really need to go for HIV checkups like from 3 to 6 months. Like 3 to 6 months, possibly, to check for HIV. So in simple terms, PrEP is medicine taken by HIV negative people to prevent themselves from getting HIV infection. So if you are HIV negative, if you have multiple sexual partners, if you do drugs, you share sharp objects, and you are HIV negative, you inject drugs, you have sex with unknown partners, please, you really need to come for PrEP. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. In my next video, I'll be talking about the differences between PrEP and PEP. PrEP and PEP. You understand? So thank you for always watching my videos. Let's come for PrEP. PrEP is very important. When you are HIV negative, you really need to come for PrEP. Alright, we have PrEP in our hospitals. If you're tested HIV negative, you really need PrEP to prevent yourself from getting infected with HIV. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.